and so on and so forth. The laws of equity also are included in the sources of the Constitution. Now, all of these that we have mentioned are playing almost the same or equal role in the making of the Constitution. So, when we say the source of a Constitution, we tend to say maybe in a mathematical language, okay, in a more scientific language, the derivatives, how is the constitution derived? How is the constitution derived? From what is it derived? And so on and so forth. So, a constitution will require the understanding of the custom, norms, traditions, and taboos of a people for that constitution not to hit the rocks. If you do not consult what constitutes the laws of the people, uh, the constitution will run contrary to the culture, to the sociology and culture of the people. Like we say culture is the total way of life of a people. And so before the constitution is made, the people must have been existing. So the constitution comes in to modify how the relationship of human beings and institutions should be ordered. So the constitution does not come before man. Man comes before the constitution. That's why it's often said that the constitution is for man and not man for the constitution. And so that's the reason we could emphasize that at some point the constitution can be altered, can be adjusted to fit into the practically acceptable circumstances. Uh, you do not, the law is not an iron cast because it is meant to regulate human activities, which are also subject to changes per time or from time to time. It is meant to be amenable to changes. When we say amenable now, it means it's subject to modification and adjustments. So, the sources of the constitution that I've mentioned so far, I said tradition, customs, taboos, all of these are required to be consulted by the drafters of the constitution in order for them not to make mistakes, fundamental mistakes at that. If you do not consult this thing before you make a constitution for a people, you must look at it. What is their tradition saying? That's why I was saying, I don't know if it's in these virtual classes I was emphasizing the difference between rape and in Africa or for Africans and for the West. And it is the same problem that Nigerians are finding it difficult. The debate, what has occupied the Nigerian public space, media space in the past 3 weeks is the Natasha Akpoti and Akpabio controversies. Nigerians do not seem to understand the implications of harassment. They think that a man must have succeeded in taking a woman to the bed, must have violated her very, very, very conspicuously before it can be said that the woman is harassed. That's not the global, as it stands today, that's not the global interpretation of harassment. So, if there is an interest, there is a secret admiration for the opposite person, in which case the admirer constitutes a stumbling block or creates discomfort for the other person, you have started to harass the person. That is harassment. So you see that the reactions that we have received on this issue and how people are still supporting Akpabio, you know, is because of our faint knowledge of what harassment is. If we understand the full implication of harassment, we would know that we have harassed many people many times over without knowing it. So now that's why the the way the framers and drafters of our constitution have framed it is such that it has given so much latitude of freedom to people to misbehave to some extent, compared to how it is seen and operated in the West. The concept of rape readily comes in again. What is rape for Africa? On, and in the West, you find that what is called rape here, so many people have committed rapes, even in marriage, without knowing it. But that's because our tradition and culture permits it that way. In Africa, for example, you have an unfettered access to a wife for as long as the dowry has been paid. Unfettered. That is, it is even a taboo for a woman to say no. Whereas in the West, even though the dowry has been paid and the court, certified